Hello guys, so welcome back to the channel. Last weekend, I think it was, I posted a ground stash loot run from customs, and then 1 or 2 days later, one from Lighthouse. Today we're gonna have a look on Woods. Woods is obviously a forest. And very often people go to Emercom building and Scav bunker and USAC camp, and then of course the sawmill to try to get Sturman. But there are also a lot of ground stashes, so we will have a look on those, do a bit of a loot run, and obviously you can integrate a part of it. If we can figure out where we are, that's always a good idea. We're on the old train station. There is some loot inside here, I think. We have Emercom over there. Not ideal. I would have a like the other spawn on outskirts or something, but you can also do, you can sort of do a circle. Either you go from outskirts all the way around the map towards here and extract. This time we have outskirts as our extractions, more than likely. Yep, we do. So then we start this way. I'm gonna go down here in this little valley here. You have a couple of rocks here. There's our first one. Next to it, little bucket. That's our first stash. Now we go up. If I can find it. Looking at the tank. There is the tank. And then you sort of need to look here somewhere for another one if I can find it. There it is. That's the second one. So this is sort of, if you come from the tank, it's the first big bush, and it's on this side of the bush. Before you see those two rocks, that's more or less what that is about. We're gonna go into the forest. Now you could go all the way around. That is an option. Coming from the old station. If you go behind here, there is another bucket somewhere behind this big rock formation here on our left. Don't know where exactly it is, but somewhere around here. There it is. Yeah, obviously we're gonna refer to rocks and trees here often, because there is not much else here, in a way. There are a few in the middle, not that far from the plane. But we'll just keep going around the map. That is the easiest to remember, I guess. We have ZB16 over there. You sort of have the plane over there. You have the Jaeger's thing. I think there's here someone. One of these bushes is one. Show you the plane first. That's sort of the plane over there, and then you go toward northern extraction. over there. If you come from the plane, you have a couple of rocks. This is the rock behind the plane, and then you sort of follow that line till you see two rocks on your right here somewhere. Those are these two, I guess. Can't remember exactly. And somewhere around here, I think there's also a bucket, but I can't remember exactly. Could be a stash in the bush as well, though. Then it needs to be in this bush, though. Which I don't immediately see. Oh yeah, here it is. This is one of those blank stashes again. Always a bit hard to find these. It's closer. You can sort of look at it like this. You have the plane, you follow this thing till you see that wheel here. You go in between these two trees, and then it's this bush here. That's that one. And then you have the two rocks over here. You're sort of going that way towards the hill. And we're sort of looking again, might already passed it, again for a rock. Could be more to the right. Let me have a look. I'm guessing it's this one. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, a bucket. There it is. We're still good on food. Then we go up to the rocks. And then we sort of come on the first northern village here. There's also a tank here. You can, from this point, if you come from the other side, that's how you sort of can base yourself here on this one. You go through these two rock formations, and then you look left there for that rock. That's where you find the bucket. There are a few places here you can loot. We're just gonna follow the dirt road here. And then you come to these concrete things here. The first one you can ignore. The second one will have a stash as well. That's a bucket. We'll just pick up some stuff. Then you have facing the little town. You have a road here with the tank. There is a weapon crate next to it. Just follow that road. More or less till it turns here. And then you see two of these tree stumps. And then you sort of need to look here somewhere. Is it this one? It's here somewhere. Let me have a look. A bit more to the left. Here somewhere. I always go backwards facing that one, trying to figure out where it is. You have another road behind you that you can always check, but it's more here though. I think I'm a bit too far to the left. This is a pretty high grass if I remember. You have these two rocks here as well. That's where you come from. Till you see these two tree stumps. It's here somewhere though. Oh my god. The sun is shining on it. We're standing on it. That's why I didn't see it. Veritas guitar pick. So yeah, if you stand up, it's closer to this, the biggest stump of the two. You just turn around and you walk through that bush, and then it's on the smallest of these two trees. It's on the bottom there. And we're just gonna cross this little hill and go to the second town. A lot of loot there as well, a couple of gold chain spawns and stuff like that. You can loot all the buildings over there. There's also a lot of food, a couple of duffel bags that you could potentially loot, but nothing ground stash wise, because there is enough loot as it is in this town. You need some scab kills. You usually find a few scabs around here, not in this raid obviously, because to make things go a little bit smooth, we have offline mode on at the moment. Also here, if you need scabs, you can always jump on this, if you have enough stamina that is, and then on the roof, and then you can sort of, with that roof over there as your cover, you can shoot everything that moves on this roof. Pretty good angle there. We obviously have the car extraction over here. Just works like on any other car extraction, with the difference being that this car is always here. On interchange, you don't know if it's there. Lighthouse, you don't know if it's there. Dorms, you don't know if it's there. It often is, but not always. This one is always here. So you can always double tap. If it's in red, then you know that somebody has taken it. Going from that car, I need to check here. There's another ground stash here, which is pretty close to the car. That could be like already this one. Yep, there we go. It's like the first bush that you see coming from the car. We'll check this, but normally bags are usually empty, as we know from other raids. So yeah, it's like the first bush that you see from the car. That's where this one is. We go a bit more to the road. We obviously are not running in the open road, but it gives you a bit more of an idea of where we are. That I'm sort of going by these road thingies. If you play this in an online raid, you have the double rock here with the entrance in between. You sort of want to go up this one, because there is a bucket. I think it's on the rocks itself somewhere. There we go. That's the next one. We're finding some streamers items again, as you do very often in these ground stashes. A bastion. We can drop this one and put this one on. This is definitely better. You can obviously pick up whatever it is that you need. We're also going to eat something. Woods, also shoreline, maybe even lighthouse. Always advisable to bring some drinks around. Something like customs, not necessarily, because on customs you sort of find enough food as it is. So this is the entry point of those two, between the two rocks. And what we actually want to do is go down here now somewhere. So you have the gap over there, and then you can go either straight. I'll show you the gap, because we went up obviously. So that is the entry point. Then you can go that way to the next town if you want, or you can just go left here towards the next rocks in a way. And we're gonna climb up again. on the next part of the rocks, if we can. Might be a bit of a... So then you have the next rocks, but this time it's not a bucket, this time it's a ground stash. Walking away from it, it's over here. This is one of the chocolate, always good. Got some more food, we got some more drinks. You can pick up whatever you want, obviously. So that is the second rock in a way. So you basically cross this road. That one is a bucket on the rocks. This one you go to the rocks. And then you walk and you have two bushes there. It's this bush over there. Then you see down there the church, the lake, all that kind of stuff. The little cabins over here. Gonna check this one. Nope, nothing here. There are some spawns here and there. You can find some loot over here if you want. There's some gold spawns and stuff like that in that little church on the boat thing. And then you come to this cabin. And there is a ground stash over here in the corner somewhere. It's hidden a little bit in the bush. Also a little bucket. In between the two bushes here, so in the middle, you can also find some gold chains or something from time to time. Then you go behind this cabin. You have a couple of tents over there. And we started gonna look for a lake over there. And we're gonna go right of it. And then, yeah, now I need to look myself as well. So we're gonna look around on the rocks here. Because I think this is also one of these buckets. It's either on the rock or could actually be on the rock. Oh, it's more on that side. Wasn't it a bucket? Can't remember exactly. I thought it was a bucket, this one. Where's the cabin? Cabin is over there. This is the first lake. Oh, we're too far. We're too far. It's that rock over there. Now I see it. It's this rock over here. Yeah. This is what we're on about. But I can't remember if this was a bucket or if this is like a... I think this is the one where you needed to climb the rocks. And then you could sort of see it. Can't remember. I thought it was sort of on the rock. Oh, that's the one we already had. Oh, and that's the big lake. These rocks here always confuse me. That's the tents. It's away from the tents though. Let's focus on the tents and see if we can find it from the little tents. And now we're back on that cabin. No. The tents, you need to go left from the tents towards the lake. So it's gotta be this rock formation. But I thought it was a bucket, but it could be a ground stash with wooden planks as well. Can't remember exactly. That's the problem here. Always hard to find this one. Not if you know where it is, of course. Oh, here, you see? I knew it was a bucket somewhere in the rocks. Couldn't remember looking. We'll eat the piece immediately. Couldn't remember looking for a ground stash over here with wooden planks. So it's sort of squeezed between the rocks. And then you have the big lake. Now you can go a bit left. There is also one there. Those are all possibilities. Now we need to look for the biggest lake, which is on the right somewhere. Can we cross here? I think we can. There we go. This is obviously the biggest of the lakes. Yeah, this is also a hard one to find for me. Sort of usually go for proposed convoy and then, because that's what gives you the best idea. Was already too far for the next one. You have proposed convoy there. That's sort of the starting point for this one in a way. As soon as you're pretty close to it, you go to the right towards the lake, and then yeah, then it's at some of these trees here. Very close though. Maybe a bit more to the right. Which one of those three? Ah, here it is. You sort of look at that little pier and the little boat over there. With the convoy right behind you. So don't go too far. In the beginning I always made a mistake of looking in those bushes over there, so after a while I decided to go from that car over there. It's closer to the convoy than you think it is. And then you sort of come here and you find it sort of in between these three trees here. Let's see. It's about 50 degrees if you look at that thing. The pier and the little boat. Sort of continue towards outskirts. We still have 16 minutes. Then we come to this lake over here, which is another lake. Yeah, this one I don't know if we'll find it. Somewhere over here is another stash. But this is a bit further. This one is a bit further. But I have been doing some maneuvers here often as well. You sort of want to have a look on that little, on the second one. Ah, here it is. Found it. This is something, yeah, either you find it or you don't sometimes, this one. But you can sort of look through the trees. You come from that side, you have a little bit of a yeah, side bay in a way, and then there you have like a little beach area. And if you look at the beach area, it's about 25 degrees if you look at that one, and then you're pretty much standing on it. There you see, even now I cannot find it, and we just opened it. This is very hard, especially if it's like sunshine or something. You can barely see this thing. It just looks, it's over here, we were standing on it, but you can sort of go with these white flowers, I guess. The closest ones to the water, because they're also over there somewhere, and that's why you sometimes get confused on this one. Now there are a couple of if you follow the power line, there are one or two over there. We'll show you that later on the map, but that's sort of in the middle of the map. That doesn't work very well with our little circle that we are doing around the map, so that's why we go this way now. We already opened a bunch. We have missed like 1, 2 on the scav bunker side. You can expand your circle a little bit if you want, but this is sort of to chop up your run in a way, because obviously you have scav bunker over there, you have USA camp up there coming up. I don't know if it's this one. Let's check. Yep, it is this one. It's the first power thing. Here's another bucket, which I often see people just run by. Got a teapot, Sequisha mustache. I'm gonna drop some of this propane because we're really heavy otherwise. We'll eat some crackers, drink some juice. We still have some time, so we can adjust our route a little bit. The next one is a bit out of the way in a way, because there's not much here. You can just continue, of course. If this is your way out towards outskirts, then you can more or less do this one, but otherwise you can go a bit more left and ignore this one. That is also an option. You have the second power line, and then you sort of see a little bit of a hill. We're gonna go up that hill and look for this is a plank one, I think. See one of the bushes here. It's more here on, I think. There we are. There we go. Got some fuel in case we were not heavy enough. Some weapon parts. And then you can sort of go out, move on, and go left towards ZB14 and outskirts. But we will go a bit more towards the sawmill this time. Seeing we still have some time, we can do a few more. That's why we do a circle around the map. I thought I didn't have enough time to do the 2 on Scav Bunker and Scav Bridge. There are also 2 there, but we probably would have made it. Obviously, if you do this in an online raid, things will not go that smooth in such a way. You will run into scavs, you will run into players, so this is just showing you where they are, and then you can, accordingly to your run, you can sort of, if you have a few slots open, you can top up your run a bit with some ground stashes. Over here, the checkpoint area. I'll show you what I'm talking about. That's the checkpoint area. Violet key can spawn on the seat. I've done many runs, I haven't seen it yet, but you know, sometimes see these people. It can spawn here on the seat, Violet Labs key card. Going towards the sawmill, we'll do about 2-3 more, I think. We see the truck over there. That's your next aiming point in a way. Then you sort of go leftish. And then you have the rock here where people often climb to have an overview on the sawmill. That big rock over here with Sniper's Rock behind. You turn around, you see this fallen tree, and there is a bucket underneath somewhere. There it is. Another one where you often see people run by in videos or we're sort of full now, but there are still a few more though. Go past the truck this time. Over there you have the marked circle. This is a bit more tricky business, obviously, because Sturman can be hanging around here on this rock. He can be hanging around in the hangar there on the woods. He might already be shooting at you at this moment. You have this rock here with the duffel bag on top. Sturman can be hiding here sometimes. People are shooting him from the other side. He sometimes run over here to this duffel bag. Another PM pistols. We found the 2 PM pistols already. And the other one is a bit more tricky to find. I usually go by that rock and then it's this rock formation here. So if you, it's between the big rock over there and that one over there. You sort of have some ditches here, and you have this rock formation. And you sort of want to look at the orange roof and then sort of walk backwards. That's the best way of doing it. And then you should run somewhere around here into a ground stash. Is it here somewhere? Yeah, here it is. It's the second bush. We'll have a look on the drop the contacts, put on the sword-ins. So yeah, you sort of have the orange roof over there with the rock with the duffel bag over there. So if you sort of look in between, let's have a look. About 75, 80 it is. If you look at that, and then it's on the left here, over there. Then we walk towards the lake, or the slightly trying to make our way out. You can of course go a bit closer here to these rocks if you want. Towards the lake, you still have the tent there that you can check for a flash drive potentially. I will go back. Already moved on a little bit. But you have the big rock formation here, so that's probably a better. You can just follow that ditch here, and then you automatically come here. You have a duffel bag. You usually have something to drink. Very often on this thing here, you find some food, and sometimes a flash drive as well. If you're looking for flash drives, this is a place to find them. We follow the lake now, and we pretty much go out. If you play as a scav, you have the pier boat or something extraction, that is called. I think it's a new one. I don't know what the idea behind that is. Because you also have the Dead Man's Place as if you play as a scav, which is this thing here. Why is it called Dead Man's Place? Because, well, very simple. There's a dead man here, and a duffel bag, and you extract here as well. So I don't know why they came up with that boat here. And then don't go any further than that because you will run into minefields. You sort of wanna aim for that little tree thing here or whatever it is. And then when you're looking at it, you look left, you see this bush here. Another ground stash. Also very often ignored, people don't know about it or whatever. We can have some food. We can have some apple juice. And then we obviously take the chocolate, for instance, over a bandage, because 2 of these chocolates makes a sugar which you can sell for about 100k nowadays. So yeah, we're pretty much top, just doing loot. And then obviously you go next to the tree hut thing here. It's not a tree hut, it's some bird thing, I think. I sort of want to stay a bit on this side of the ditch if you want to avoid mines. You can go a bit further, you will see this mine signs at some point. Towards the car here, which obviously is outskirts. And that is our way out. A woods ground stash loot run. It's pretty much what we did here. And we had pretty much some decent stuff with us. You might run into a few scavs here and there. It's obviously that last part there on the sawmill that might be a bit more tricky business. But as we were going now, the people on the sawmill, like if the boss is there, he will probably already be dead by the time you get there. If you do it sort of the same timing wise as we did it now. But you can also, of course, do it the other way around. As always, we'll have a look on the maps. So, we had a spawn here, this one over here. Between Old Station and UN Roadblock. Old Station is an old scav extraction. I don't think that thing is available anymore. Maybe it is, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't think this is an extraction anymore. They usually give you a UN Roadblock, which is. So we started over here, and what we more or less did is we walked towards the rocks formation. We did this stash over here. Then we went to the tank and went right to the bush. That's where we found the second one. And then we sort of ran like this, back towards Old Station, and then behind the big rock formation you go left behind it, there's another bucket. Then I turned left again, and I went for the plane. The plane, you sort of, if you go behind the plane northwards, you sort of have a little ditch, and you see a wheel at some point, a wheel and a part of a wing, and then you can go to the right, and that's where, just before these 2 rocks, that's where we opened that stash. Then we sort of continued that line, and then you have these 2 big formations here before you enter the town. And there's a gap between, and there's one more rock over there with a bucket next to it. We sort of went through here, went all around, then you have the concrete things over there with the second one has a bucket inside. Then you take the road where the tank is on with the weapon crate next to it. You follow that road till it turns over here, and then you see 2 tree stumps, and it's right behind the biggest tree stump. This white dot is not 100% accurate. If you look on this map, it's way closer to this road than it is to that road actually. Now we moved on. We sort of went behind that city, and we went to the car extraction. And then from the car extraction, yeah, this white dot is also way closer to the car extraction than it actually shows here. If you're on the car, you go up the road, it's pretty much the first bush that you see. That's where that ground stash is. Then we moved on. Then we have the road going between the 2 rocks, but we went up the first rock here, and then that's where that little dot there is the ground stash. And then you can sort of go, yeah, you can sort of go more or less in between these roads. There was another one over here, which is not even on this map. I've just noticed now. I probably have an old, I think it's version 5.3, which is now on the wiki, but I had a picture of 5.1. There is another one on these 2 rocks here. There is another stash, which is a bit away from it. And then you continue towards the lake, where you have the search boat. Inside that cabin, which is sort of facing, that's where we found another stash. Then we went to the tent over here, and we moved a little bit towards the first rock. Yeah, I was a bit too far. I was already on these rocks first, so I had to go back. That's where we did that one. I think we went all the way around then to get to Propor's convoy, but you can sneak through here and go this way next to the big lake. Once this one is also a bit needs to be closer to the convoy, because you go from the convoy, you go straight to the water, and then you see the pier and the little boat, and that's where that ground stash is. So this white dot is also not perfectly on the map. And then we moved on, and then we went left on the white flowers there on this lake. We did this one. Now you see that this one over here and this one over there we kind of skipped. I thought we didn't have enough time. Otherwise you could have gone from the convoy through the Scab Bunker. You could have done that one. It's between Scab Bunker and Scab Bridge on that road. You go left next to the rock. There is one more if you want. This one is a bit more trickier though. You have the Scab Bunker over here, and then you go towards Yusei Camp, but here you need to be a bit careful for the minefields. But next to this lake, behind this formation of rocks, there is another little rock, and next to it is also a ground stash. I think that's a bucket, if I remember correctly. So these two, the one over here and the one over there, we did not do. So we went from the convoy one, we went on the dirt road, we went left, and then we sort of looked at this little area here, which has a little bit of a beach, a little bit of a sand area. I think it was, what was it, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, something like that. So we opened that one, and then I told you that if you follow the power line, that you will find another one there if you want. We didn't do that because we just followed the dirt road here, past Yusei Camp. Then you have the power line here, which has a bucket next to it. Then we moved past the second power line, and then you see a little hill where we went up. You can open that stash. As you can see, do not go any further because all of these red fields are minefields. Just open that stash, and then we sort of went towards checkpoint over here. To get an idea where we were, we moved around over here towards that truck, and then on the truck you go left towards the rock. You look left and there is a fallen tree with brown yellow leaves. There's a bucket underneath. And then we sort of went to this rock over here with the duffel bag, and then you go leftwards till you see this rock formation. And then you can sort of aim for the orange roof here. if you're on these rocks, you look at these orange roofs and you just walk in reverse, and then it will be the second bush on the left. That's where there is a plank ground stash. And then I moved on, but I sort of went back to have a look at these little tents here in the bottom. And then we moved the boat, apparently the extraction is called Dead Man's Place. And then we had on that little hut here, the bird watchers or camera or whatever it is. If you look left behind the bush is another one, that is this white dot. And then we went to outskirts and extracted. So we sort of did all of these and we sort of went around the circle. We had a little bit more time. Maybe I could went from this one towards the road and do those two together, but this is a pretty decent ground stash run as it is. And if you do that obviously as a PMC, as a scav you can only do a few of those because you're limited in time. But as a PMC you will have exactly the same time that I had now, which I think is 40 minutes, 45 minutes on woods. Could be 50 as well, I'm not 100% sure. So you obviously have enough time to do this. The only ones we didn't do were the mens in the middle here. You can integrate them in your route. You could, for instance, go from this town, ignore this one on the car extraction, and sort of do the ones here in the mountain stash. But then you're gonna have to deal with sniper scab or with some people who killed sniper scab there on the rocks. These two I don't find that interesting to integrate. It's safer to go around, I find. And so that's why I do the circle like this. So if you come from this side, obviously you can do the little tree hut here first. Then you do the one which is facing the orange roof. Then you can sort of cross the road, take care of the one or two scabs which are hanging around on checkpoint. Need to be a bit careful on the sawmill, obviously, with Sturman. This one is, yeah, this one is a bit tricky. I don't do it that often. If you have been looting a bit over there and let's say somebody else took the car and you have to go to outskirts, you come by that dirt road, then you can pick it up. If you come by there on your way out of to ZB 14 or outskirts, then you can do this ground stash. But otherwise, it's a bit out of the way because normally you come here, you do checkpoint, you do loot some stuff over here. This is a bit out of the way, and then you maybe go use a camp, scab bunker, or you go to the sawmill. So this one is a bit out of the way. But I just showed you that there is one. In case you extract on this side, then you can integrate it in your route, more or less. That was it. The Woods ground stash loot run. We've done most of them except for these two here in the middle, which are, this is in the middle of this triangle of roads, and this one is on the power line, if you follow the power line. These two we didn't do, and these two on the mountain, those four here we did not do because we went around in a circle. These you can find on the map, as you can see. If you are on that mountain, then you can take these two and you can do these two if you're in that area. But I prefer to do the ones on the circle because often people are on the mountain trying to get Sturman in the sawmill. So you always have more opposition if you are around here. While with the other ones here on the outside, you might run into a scab here around the ZB16 area. That is all possible. A few scabs here and there, but PMCs, they are mostly fighting around this area, trying to get their Sturman kills or stuff like that. A ground stash woods run. I think ground stash wise, well, we have done customs in the first video that I posted. We have done lighthouse in the second video. We have done woods now. Reserve, there are not really ground stashes there. I don't think there are any, as far as I know. Maybe here or there one, but I don't know. Interchange, personally, I don't find that interesting. There are ground stashes on the outside if you stay out of the mall, if you don't go inside. There are ground stashes, you can definitely do some ground stashes there. But it's sort of more, yeah, if you go to the power station to put on the power, then there is 1 or 2 ground stashes that you can sort of integrate in your route. Personally, I know some people like to go interchange for the ground stashes, because everybody goes inside and they're farting in the mall, and then they think like, oh, the ground stashes, I'm safe there. But what I've noticed on something like customs, there are so many ground stashes that you're most of the time you will still have some loot behind. Lighthouse, there's so much good loot that very often people are not even doing the ground stashes, so you usually find loot in all of them. Interchange is one of those maps where people either they go in very geared inside in the mall to fight Killa or whatever, or they will do the ground stashes outside. So very often you're gonna find empty ground stashes because there's a guy just in front of you who's doing the same thing. So I don't find interchange that interesting loot wise for ground stashes. Lighthouse, people don't do ground stashes because they do the houses and all that. So in Lighthouse you can pick up some decent stuff in the ground stashes. In Woods as well, same story. So I'll probably do one more video of these, and that will be Shoreline. But the problem that I have here is I know a few of them, I don't know all of them. But here, this is a pretty good map to go by, because here they are numbered. And I see already 37 here, so that gives you a pretty good idea what's going on here. Almost 40 ground stashes on this map. And of course the most activity is happening here in the Health Resort power station pier line. Mostly in the Health Resort, but sometimes people go look on the pier for Senator or on the cottages. There are a couple of ground stashes there, as you can see. But most of them are in town here in the swamp area, and then all over this area where it's usually very quiet. So we will have a look on those as well. I'm pretty sure we can find some route. Like over there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Not even that interesting to go for those 4. So we can probably find some route, swamp area, cottages, go maybe Scav Island, and then go over the beach. Try to get through here. Yeah, we need to get through here somehow. And then do this whole area, and then go out in customs. If we spawn in on this side, you do all of these ground stashes here. You sort of move through here, through the cottages, and go over the swamp area. You loot the town here, and you go out on tunnel. That's another option. And you avoid the Health Resort at all cost. Not even such a bad idea. We'll see. I know a few of them, I don't know all of them. We might be able to find some of them if I can find a better map with... There are some maps out there on the wiki, for instance, where you find like pictures where they give you the compass degrees. That gives you an idea, because here I already like these here. This is gonna be on the fifth tree from the wall or something like that, that you need to orientate yourself on. So that's not that interesting. But we'll see. If we can find some decent route, then I will do a video on that as well. That will be it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.